What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's been a busy night for the Washington Commanders as we're 7 days away from Super Bowl 58. The Commanders have been getting busy. Not only did Dan Quinn touch down in Ashburn tonight, stepped off the jet in some Jordan 11s, the 72 and 10s, looking clean, dapped up GM Adam Peters and family as he got off the plane. Washington is putting together a staff here. We have our offensive coordinator in the tuck, official about an hour and a half ago. Cliff Kingsbury accepted the job as Washington's new offensive coordinator and let all the Caleb Williams smoke catch fire in DC now that it's official. We have our defensive coordinator as well, Joe Whitt Jr., Cowboys secondary and defensive passing game coordinator there in Dallas, in Arlington, Texas this year. A top 5 defense there. Make your enemies weaker. That is the motto for the offseason for the Commanders. Make your enemies weaker. We've taken the 2 top defensive coaches on the defensive side of a very good Dallas unit. Things you love to see. And as soon as Dan Quinn was hired to be our head coach, every Dallas fan in proximity was screaming, hurry up and promote Joe Whitt Jr. to defensive coordinator. But nope, just like he left with Quinn in Atlanta to come to Dallas with him, he will be coming to Washington with Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn will be calling the defense, though. I think Joe Whitt Jr. will be the coordinator, but Dan Quinn always calls his own defense. I imagine that's going to remain the same, but you know, when you're the head coach of the team, you do have to delegate some of your duties and you have to empower your assistants. We're good to go. We only got one more on that Dallas side. I need 2. Give me Al Harris. We need a dog coaching Emmanuel Forbes, St. Juice in those corners we have at the moment. We need an absolute dog coaching them boys up. Joe Whitt, according to my boy DMV Fanatic, shout out to him. He also just hit 10K recently on YouTube. Big Dallas fan here in the DMV. He said as far as the defense goes, Dan Quinn is the mastermind of the front of the defense, and Joe Whitt Jr. handles the back end. So he's the guy getting them corners and them safeties ready to go, and Dan Quinn gets the front 7 ready to go. And if you know anything about Dan Quinn's schemes going all the way back to Seattle, they're able to force turnovers and they're able to make plays in the secondary because they're putting constant, incessant pressure on quarterbacks up front. Love it. I love what Washington is doing. I did not love the Dan Quinn hire immediately. It lacks the sex appeal, but we're a couple days later and the hire looking better and better every day. It's clear there was a vision here. It's clear there was definitely a vision here. We tampered like shit to get Cliff Kingsbury over here. I think we texted him, hey, big head, you signed that contract in Vegas? Because things switched as soon as Dan Quinn got this job and needed an offensive coordinator over here. Because, you know, Cliff Kingsbury has a history of decommitment. He's done this shit before. 2018, in case you did not know, he took the OC job of the USC Trojans, but was immediately given interviews for the Jets and Cardinals head coaching jobs in the league. Lynn Swann, I believe, who ran USC at the time, I believe he blocked Cliff Kingsbury's interviews with the Jets and the Cardinals. No, sir, you're not looking at the NFL. You just accepted a job here. Cliff said, all right, bet. I'm out of here. Said, fuck it, bounce, took the Arizona job, and the rest was history. It's cool, man. We be coordinating like shit. We're making moves. We're putting a staff together here in DC. So far, we got Dan Quinn as the top dog, head coach, Joe Whitt Jr., defensive coordinator, and Cliff Kingsbury, that suave ASMR voice motherfucker, will be running the offense here in DC. We got our big 3, and according to Peter Schrager, who was the one who broke the Kingsbury news, he said, Washington is going to be putting together quite the offensive staff in DC for whatever quarterback's going to be playing there. But it's lit, y'all. This offseason, it's like every day we wake up to Christmas morning because there is nonstop news and movement going on in the building. If you haven't been over to Commanders Twitter or Commanders Instagram, they've already posted videos tonight of Dan Quinn getting off the jet and dapping up Adam Peters. It was a real nigga dap too. Like they dap like some real ones. Dan Quinn got up off the jet with the 72 and 11, the 72 and 10 Jordan 11s on, black cap on, all black everything. Adam Peters comes strolling to meet him at the plane with his Hollywood ass smile. It's a new day in DC, y'all. It's a new day in DC, y'all. And you can feel indifferent about the Dan Quinn hire because none of us were too excited about it. But things are being done differently here now in DC, y'all. Things are being done differently. It is a new day, and we should be excited. I need Al. I need Al Harris. Al Harris is the real nigga we need in that defensive coaching staff. We need that coaching up praying mantis Emmanuel Forbes. We need it. Or bring Chris Harris back. That'd be cool. I think he's on the track to be a defensive coordinator, though. So if he gets on staff, he's probably out of here immediately. The Commanders might become a 3-4 under Quinn. I think they're going to stay at a 4-3 base under Dan Quinn, at least based on the personnel that's already here. But the roster could look very different real soon. But I'm not sure. That I feel like that would be a dramatic switch up for Dan Quinn to get here and suddenly go to a 3-4. Give me Jaden or Caleb. I'm so ready. We're back. Bro, we are back. We're back. Whether it's Jaden, Caleb, or Drake May. But I do think we have to at least shoot our shot at Chicago. We have to at least be told no. We have to at least say, Ryan Poles, if y'all are thinking over this quarterback decision, we can make it easier for you. We can make the first pick and y'all can respond to us, and you can take some draft compensation and even Jonathan Allen if you want him on the way out. I know you do have a need at defensive tackle. Why not pair your linchpin DN with the guy he got busy with here in DC? Jonathan Allen and some picks on the table. I'm at least making the call. I need to know that I need to lock on Jaden Daniels and Drake May. I need to know that Caleb Williams is off the table for me. So I'm making the phone call, goddammit. I'm making the phone call. Great news tonight. I can't wait till the presser tomorrow. If you do not know, Dan Quinn's presser tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, live from Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park. This is crazy, man. What's going on, Camacho? What's going on, y'all? We bringing the vibes. We bringing the hype over here. This is a fun offseason. This is what it feels like to do it right, y'all. This is what it feels like to do it right. I know we were all heartbroken over the Ben Johnson shit. You know what Daniel M. Snyder would have done with Ben Johnson? He would have flew to Detroit anyway. He would have held that man hostage, and he would have waterboarded him until he signed the goddamn contract. Because that's how slimy-ass Napoleon Bonaparte Snyder got down. We may have dodged a bullet, y'all. We may have dodged a goddamn bullet. Because clearly dude wasn't built for it. He not built for this yet. Let's go Washington Commanders. What's going on, awesomeness? How we doing tonight, awesomeness? Indian Lake, what's going on? The Seattle 3 defense uses both. Yeah, it does. It does. The Seattle 3. And they used hella cover 3 over there. Maybe we can find a real legitimate role for Emmanuel Forbes because he was drafted to be a zone corner and we had him running hella man. Maybe Forbes is not as ass as he looked as a rookie. Maybe coaching was 90% of it and not like 60, 65% of it, like I said, because ultimately, when you're drafted in the first round, when you're a player making millions of dollars in the leagues, it can't be all on coaching. Your ass need to get out there and execute. They cannot put all the answers on the test for you. You still have to take the goddamn test yourself. So I need the players to show me more. Matthew said, bring on over Al Harris too. Let's go, bro. Ben Johnson can kick. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him and everyone who loves him. It's all good, bro. No hard feelings, but there are hard feelings. Fuck Ben Johnson. I'm rooting on the downfall of the Lions. I'm being King Petty until the end of time because there's a level of decorum. And you don't leave somebody on the plane on the way to you and break up via text. You got a girlfriend, you got a boyfriend. Don't end the relationship over a phone call. Do it in person. Stand on business. He didn't stand on business, but Washington is standing on business, and we are putting a staff together right now. A formidable one so far. We got Cliff Kingsbury, who some people may have PTSD when they see that name because he didn't work out as a head coach. He's not going to be a head coach, y'all. He's just going to run the offense. He's going to get the quarterback developed, and he's going to design an offense, and that's it. He can clock out when he's done putting together a game plan. Leading men, disciplining, all that stuff. Like Kyler had that boy shook. Kyler had that boy shook like he was going to put hands on him. Excited to see how he actually changes it up compared to Jack Dell dipshit. And literally anything's an improvement. No bullshit. I think all of us in the chat could collectively put together a better game plan than Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera. My biggest issue was that they are just so stubborn. Yeah, Darryl Green said that. That sounds good, but I don't know. I haven't seen Darryl Green on any staffs, and I haven't seen him coaching up corners. It sounds good. He's a legend. I don't know about all that. It's not as simple as I can get him right in 10 seconds. That shit did sound good in the soundbite when he said that shit, though. But Jack and Ron's biggest problem was they don't adjust to the players. They make the players adjust to them, and that's not how you do ego. The male ego of NFL coaches. Work to what you got. Stop trying to force scheme on players. I did. If you haven't seen Caleb Williams' story, as soon as the Cliff Kingsbury news came out, he posted on his story a picture of a jersey swapped Cliff Kingsbury wearing a Commander shirt, and he said, "Hey, my dog," on his story within 10 minutes of the news breaking. That's his guy, though, so it may be nothing to see there, but obviously this smoke is going to go on until Chicago douses that fire. This is going to build until Chicago comes out and says, number one is not for sale. Number one is not for sale. But Caleb Williams was also a fan of the Washington Redskins, so this doesn't surprise me at all. He celebrated with the rest of us when Dan Snyder sold the team. So it doesn't surprise me that he's reacting to Washington Commanders news. Eric Bieniemy, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. We got to ease up on EB, don't we, man? EB is about to be assistant water boy for somebody's franchise, man. Ain't no spots left for EB. I know I said it back in November that Eric Bieniemy will never call an offense in the NFL again, but god damn, ain't nobody trying to hire Eric Bieniemy. The Raiders chose Luke Getsy's bum ass over Eric Bieniemy. So an OC that just got fired from his job, not that the staff got fired, a OC that just got fired from his job just got another job before Eric Bieniemy. At one point, do we stop blaming everyone around Eric Bieniemy and blame Eric Bieniemy for not getting it done? He had a golden opportunity here to develop a young, talented quarterback, and he cooked him and ran that boy's dick into the dirt deeper week by week in a 17-game season. He took a 23-year-old quarterback behind a shaky at best offensive line and said, "Here, nigga, throw the ball 50 times a week." That is not an advantageous plan to get a head coaching job or to continue being a color or being an offensive coordinator. Remember, this wasn't EB's first time being a play caller. Last time he actually was responsible for calling plays, he was at Colorado back in 2012, and it was a fucking nightmare, and he was out of there in a year. The red flags were there, and on top of the scheme being ass, you cannot be a hard ass and try to cuss players out and belittle them when your scheme is ass. You can't be ass and expect non-ass from the players. Because as a 20-something-year-old millionaire, you can stop cussing at me while your offense is trash. Like, I hear you, coach, but you can shut the fuck up because we scored 10 points last week and we wasn't getting open. That's on us too, but we don't even have a study guide for the test. Remember, I said coaches can't take the test for you, but EB is not even giving you a study guide. He's not giving you any tips, tricks, or any study habits to use for the test. He's pretty much just sending you in blind and saying, best of luck, nigga. That's what EB does. But anywho, best of luck to him elsewhere. Maybe he catches on as like a running back coach or something there. Him and Wiley, yes, they can get on the first plane at Dulles International back to Missouri. Go ahead and join the Chiefs at their Super Bowl victory parade once they beat the Niners next week. Ship them both out of town. I know Wiley has more years in his contract. Remember, Eric Bieniemy made Andrew Wiley a premium signing here in DC, a priority day one, first phone call of free agency. He said, bring in my guy. His guy stinks, Big spank. Man, I'm trying not to build up the anticipation to get my heart hurt. Ben Johnson ain't ready for this. What's going on, Jenny? She said, Ben Johnson ain't ready for this. We got our coaching staff in place. He can kick rocks. I told my husband to give me the keys to 2 guys in the truck so I could back it up and move him out. She said, the 2 guys in the truck. Hey, send them. Send them on their way out. Take the rest of the coaching staff. The only person that can stay a part of the organization is Ryan Kerrigan because he has plot armor. He has plot armor and lore that he's built here. Should give him a job on command center to join Logan Paulson and company because Logan might get on staff to be real. He might get on staff to be real. He might be the tight ends coach or a quality assistant coach. No more talking in third person. No more Eric Bieniemy going to be where his feet is. Eric Bieniemy going to do this. Hey, for all of his faults, Eric Bieniemy can kill a press conference. Eric Bieniemy can work a room, has the gift of gab in a press conference setting. I don't know what happens when he gets in the room by himself and does an interview with ownership and with coaches, but back to the hires we actually made. Dallas fans are more crushed about losing Joe Whitt Jr. than they are about losing Dan Quinn. So that tells you, Washington fans, we got us one. We got us one. He has a very calm, cerebral demeanor to him, too. The way he talks to God, he has a calm confidence about him. And I'm excited to see how this defense flies around under Dan Quinn and Joe Whitt Jr. And I'm very interested in the presser tomorrow. Somebody's got to ask him, are you calling plays here, Dan? Are you going to be still calling the defense? And I expect him to say, yes, I am. Or he's going to say some coach speak shit like it's going to be a collaborative effort. And I imagine they're going to keep punching home the new buzzwords of DC. Aligned vision. Aligned vision. Vision aligned. Justin Fields cannot throw crossing routes, slant routes, or get past his first read. I have less than zero interest in Justin Fields. We gotta chill. Need rookie contracts. Absolutely. Rookie contracts all day. That's why Chicago kind of has to draft a quarterback in the first round. They need to reset the rookie clock. Al Harris said in a podcast with Adam Schefter, I will go anywhere with Dan Quinn. Anywhere that man goes, if he calls on me, I'm there. He didn't call the plays at USC. He did not. He was the quarterback's coach and an offensive analyst at USC. He has coached the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel in college, and Kyler Murray. So he knows the archetype for what a special quarterback and what the traits do look like. Lincoln Riley called the plays at USC. Come on down, Al Harris. I need that energy. Al Harris is going to bring that energy that we lost when Chris Harris Jr. left us. Special teams coach, I'm not sure yet. If any news comes out while I'm live right now, let me know because it's pouring in fast. And Peter Schrager said we're putting together quite the offensive staff because clearly he knows something. What a time it is that Peter Schrager broke the story. Who's breaking news to Peter Schrager? He said, fuck Rappaport, Breer, Schefter. They gave the news straight to Schrags. Shout out to Schrags. I know his social media is on fire right now, but Micah Parsons too. Hey, in 2026, we might be on Micah Parsons' watch. When he comes up in free agency in 2 years, we might be on Micah Parsons' watch, given everything has went well with Dan Quinn, and he's in year 3 here in D.C. That man said, please treat Dan Quinn well. I love him like family. That's my dog, and everything I've learned in this league comes from Dan Quinn. He loves him. Everybody in the football world, everybody except Washington fans and Dallas fans love Dan Quinn. Very lovable guy, apparently. And he has that leader of men, but like players coach relatable thing to him. Like guys are shooting basketballs in the locker room. He's getting the guys together to watch boxing matches. I'm very, very intrigued at how the rest of the staff plays out. You mean except Vegas and DC? In what sense? What are we talking about? Cox coming back with his boy, Jabril. Are we talking about Jabril? Jabril can definitely fit for Quinn. Is Jabril actually going to play? Because I think we're doing that thing that we do here in DC with Jabril Cox. I think we're trying to make fetch happen with Jabril Cox. I'll need to see it before I can believe it. Until then, Jabril Cox is a Jag. We need us a lot. I need me a Edrin Cooper next to Jamin Davis on this defense. I need me a freak athlete linebacker, a Peyton Wilson. I got my mock draft dropping in an hour on the channel. I'm going to let y'all have that at midnight. If you're still up, it'll be up in an hour. It's a 3-round mock, Cliff Kingsbury inspired. We make 6 selections. There's a couple trades. It's off to the races in mock draft 1.0 for the Commanders. It's a good day to be a Washington fan. Cliff Kingsbury secured. Joe Whitt Jr. secured. Let's build the rest of the staff. We are introducing our first. Yeah, Ron ain't playing because he wasn't good. He's always banged up and he just wasn't good since he's gotten to the league. He didn't play. If Ron wasn't playing, that says a lot. Would you be more excited about Drake May or Jaden Daniels? This answer is going to surprise a lot of people, but right now, as we stand here on February 4th, I would take Drake May over Jaden Daniels because the way I see it, I need Jaden Daniels to prove to me his arm is a bigger weapon than his legs. Having running ability is amazing and it opens up offenses, but name me one running quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. I love Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's the most electrifying athlete in the league. Lamar Jackson's probably never going to win a Super Bowl. This was his best chance to win one, and I'm taking the guy who has running capability but wins with his arm. I like taking the raw 21-year-old 6'5" prospect with an arm and trying to mold him. I like Jaden Daniels, but I like Drake May. If it comes down to either one of them, I'll take either guy. But I'll tell you this, though. They are not on anywhere near the same stratosphere as Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is fucking different. Russell Wilson had an arm. I wouldn't call him a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that can run. Like he didn't need to run to beat you in his prime. That boy airs that motherfucker out. But Caleb Williams is the unicorn in this draft class. That's why undoubtedly he's going number 1. The conversation starts at number 2 between Jaden and Drake May. I would gladly take either here in DC, but I got to shoot my shot for Caleb because Caleb Williams is different. I do not see Caleb like a lot of people see him. I view him for what he is as a player. And I don't care about all this bullshit his father's telling people. Caleb not saying none of that shit. Caleb's a good kid. He's a film junkie. He's a worker, and he's an absolute fucking dog on the football field. And through 3 years, non-redshirted, nobody's produced more touchdowns in a 3-year span than the 120 Caleb put up in his college career. So I'll end the quarterback conversation on that. I just wanted to tap in real quick with y'all, a quick little live. We got a staff going here in DC. And I know he wants to, but he may not have a choice. But I would like him to try to flex that. Y'all ever seen Step Brothers? I need him to go to his pre-draft workouts with the Chicago Bears, and at the combine, I needed him to go in like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell went into that job interview on Step Brother. Just go in and muck the whole thing up and be like, I'm gonna keep it frank with y'all, Chief. I'm not trying to go here. Y'all remember when Deion was in the draft? I wasn't really watching football. I was a baby, but when Deion was in the draft, he ran his 40, took his bag, and went home. And he told every team not picking in the top 5, do not call him because he's not interested in anywhere he's not going because he was a lock to be a top 5 pick. He literally told teams, do not call me if you're not in the top 5. So when you are a top prospect, you do hold some type of leverage. But we'll see when we get there. Welcome to DC, Joe Whitt Jr., Cliff Kingsbury, and Dan Quinn. I am excited to watch the presser tomorrow. The presser is when you sell us dreams. We play the who won the presser situation, and DC media, they're going to come with it. They're going to ask a bunch of questions about quarterback and a bunch of shit that they know he's not going to answer, but they're going to test him and check on his temperament. We are back up. What's going on, man? We back up, my boy. We're back, and I'll tell you what, we're getting a quarterback. We don't know who that's going to be yet, but it's going to be one of 3 people. And we're not sticking with Sam. So if you're still on the sticking with Sam train, get off the train because that shit is at a screeching halt. Not happening, just like EB was never happening as a head coach or as the next offensive coordinator. We're moving on to bigger and better things. We're not going to settle for mid anymore. And the culture is indeed damn good. I will holler at y'all soon. Like I said, my mock draft will be dropping about an hour and 14. Mock draft 1.0, 3-round mocker, 6 selections, 6 starters. Holla at your boy. Very Cliff Kingsbury and offensive heavy on the first mock. HTTCs in the chat. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Bleed that burgundy and gold until the death of you. I will see y'all soon. And thank you all for 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for pulling up in these chats with your passion. We may not all see eye to eye. We may feel indifferently about how we would build and construct this roster. But at the end of the day, we support our Washington Commanders, and this dumbass team has a stranglehold over all of our hearts, souls, and emotions. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your Sunday night. I will see y'all tomorrow after the Dan Quinn opening introductory presser. Good night, world.